Bismillah, reader. What you explain to me, what you understand, say so far. Explain to me. Explain to me what you understood. Each one, I'm going to ask you, you I'm going to ask all of you what you understood from the lesson. ويستقبل القبلة لقول السلام فولوا وجوهكم شطرة ثم من كان بمكة ففرض إصابة عينها ومن كان غائبا ففرض إصابة جهتها هو الصحيح لأن التكليف بحسب الوسع. If I translate it for you, you're going to get the answer. Okay, let me translate it. And he will face the Qibla. Right, from amongst the conditions of Salah, you must face the Qibla. Why must you face the Qibla in any direction? Because Allah Ta'ala says, فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرًا. So for who is in Makkah, then his obligation is Kaaba. And who is absent from Makkah, then his obligation is to face in the direction that is correct. Because لَا تَكْلِيفَ إِلَّا بِحَسْبِ. There's no compulsion, there's no, what's a nice word, there's no obligation بِحَسْبِ الْوُسْبِ. Because compulsion is according to one's ability. Now explain it. Who can explain it now? Pick up your hand if anybody wants to explain it. Usman, you explain it? Okay, mashallah. Okay, so what is saying? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Remember, we were discussing the conditions that need to be found before Salah, right? So from amongst the conditions for your Salah to be valid is you have to face the Kaaba. You can't face any other direction. Yes, you tell me, oh, but what if you don't know which direction is the Kaaba, etc.? That will come. That will all come later on. Let's look at the scenario where you know where the Qibla is, right? So you have to face the Kaaba, right? So وَيَسْتَقْبِلُ al-Qibla, the Qibla. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala has commanded the Quran, لِقَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَةً. Then face or turn your face in the direction of the Kaaba, right? So yeah, if you notice, nicely say وَيَسْتَقْبِلُ الْقِبْلَ, face the Qibla, right? So ثُمَّ مَنْ كَانَ بِمَكَّةَ. Now, okay, to understand this here, you have to go back in time. There weren't all these huge buildings. Like now, you can be in Makkah, but you won't be able to see the Kaaba because the Kaaba is covered by the buildings of the Haram around it, right? Are you with me? But in previous days, when the houses were few small apart, if you're in Makkah, you definitely see the Kaaba. There's no question of seeing Kaaba. So in simple words, when the Kaaba is visible in front of you, so even today, if you go to the Haram and the Kaaba is there in front of you, the Kaaba is there in front of you, then you have to face the actual Kaaba. You can't miss the Kaaba even by 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters. I was saying. So this would, as I said, this was in previous times when wherever you were in Makkah, you would have a view of the Kaaba. You would have a view of the Kaaba. Today, this won't be so. Definitely have the view of the Kaaba because there's so many huge hotels around the Kaaba. There's a Haram around the Kaaba, etc. So this would be applicable if you are in the Haram today. You are in the actual Haram, so you can say that would apply for ثُمَّ مَنْ كَانَ بِمَكَّةَ فَفَرْضُهُ. Then his obligation, his wazifa is إِصَابَةُ عَيْنِهَا, to reach, to face the actual Kaaba. That all is coming. That will come, inshallah. Okay, all of that will come. Don't worry. Will come. So, وَمَنْ كَانَ غَائِبًا. See, if you are away from the Kaaba, like we are here in South Africa now, right? We are now here in South Africa. Or maybe you are now, I say also, you in Makkah, but you can't see, right? فَفَرْضُهُ إِصَابَةُ جِهَتِهَا. Then your compulsion is to reach the direction of the Kaaba, not the actual Kaaba. So yeah, if you look in Mufti Taqi Usmani, in his Dars Tirmidhi, his lessons on Tirmidhi Sharif has been compiled, but it's in Urdu, unfortunately, and you don't know Urdu. They say there's a leeway of up to 45 degrees. So if the Kaaba is not directly in your sight, then you've got a leeway for 45 degrees, right? You understood it? So وَمَنْ كَانَ غَائِبًا فَفَرْضُهُ إِصَابَةُ جِهَتِهَا. So who is absent? That means, like I told you, like us, we can't see the Kaaba, or even if you're Makkah or you're Medina or whatever. فَفَرْضُهُ, then his compulsion is إِصَابَةُ جِهَتِهَا, to get the direction of the Kaaba, not the actual Kaaba. Are you with me? Right? Was Sahih, that is correct. In other words, the fatwa is on that. The fatwa is on that. It means it shows you there is ikhtilaf in the masla, but the fatwa is on that, right? I'll read the next text, inshallah. Yeah. So he's saying why? So this answer is why, if you far away, why if you are far away from the Kaaba, you don't have to face the actual Kaaba. Why? Because it's impossible. Maybe today with modern instruments and GPS and all that type of thing, you could face, but in previous times, it was impossible to face the Ain Kaaba. It was impossible to face the Ain Kaaba. It was impossible to face the exact Kaaba. So that's why we said, لأن التكليف, you are only obligated بحسب الوسع, according to your ability, right? I'll change the page, right? Carry on. Right. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Look inside. وَمَنْ كَانَ خَائِفًا يُصَلِّ إِلَى أَيِّ جِهَةٍ قَدَرَ. And who is fearing, you will face any direction. So what this means here, for example, if you face this direction here, you could be attacked. There's a lion in front of you. You face this direction, there's a lion in front of you. Then you got a wall here, right? And if you face this direction here, there's some danger that can come. There's a man who can come and tell you, you have to marry my daughter, otherwise I'll blow your brains out. Or a lion will come to you. So then, in that instance, you can turn to the direction where the danger is so that you can monitor the danger. Right? This was more in previous times when you're traveling, etc. Maybe you got trees behind you, so you know that's safe. So the animal will attack you from the front, right? So وَمَنْ كَانَ خَائِفًا يُصَلِّ إِلَىٰ أَيِّ جِهَةٍ قَدَرَ. He will read whichever direction he's able. Why? لِتَحَقُّقِ الْعُذْرِ. Because there's a valid reason for not reading in that direction. لِتَحَقُّقِ الْعُذْرِ, right? فَأَشْبَهَ حَالَةَ الْإِشْتِبَاهِ. So it resembles the condition of confusion, like when you are confused, you are traveling, there's nobody to ask, you don't know which direction it is. Then you make tahari. So when you make tahari, that becomes your qibla. So similar here. When you got a valid reason for not facing the qibla, there's some animal or some people, terrorists, but etc., etc. They can attack you. Then you can also read whatever direction which will be safe for you, right? Okay, carry on reading. Yeah. فمن اشتبت عليه القبلة وليس بحضرته من يسأله عنها اجتهد. If Ishtabat al-Qibla, to the Qibla becomes confusing upon you, right? Like I told you, you live here in P, for example, you know which is the Qibla. You're traveling from here to Joburg, from here to Cape Town, right? So you don't know which way is the Qibla, right? So it's confusing. وَلَيْسَ بِحَضْرَةِ, you're on the road, for example, there are no Muslims around you. وَلَيْسَ بِحَضْرَتِهِ, the Muslims, مَا يَسْأَلُهُ, who you can ask anha about it. اجتهد, you will apply your mind. You say, okay, we were here, so we traveled in a westerly direction, or we traveled in an easterly direction, so the Qibla should be. Like how we know here in South Africa, normally, the easy way to work out the Qibla is if the setting sun is on your left shoulder, if you stand yourself in such a manner that the setting sun is on your left shoulder, then you should be facing the Qibla. Then you should be facing the Qibla. Like look here, we face this way, né? So then always this way here. Some type of you apply your mind, etc. فيشتغل على القبلة وليس بحضرة ما يسأل عنها اجتهد. There was a proof for that. Carry on. Who's reading? Yeah, because what's our proof for this? The Sahaba Ikram done the same thing. لأن الصحابة, the Sahaba, also done that. Did not say they done wrong, right? ولم يذكر عليهم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, and Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم did accept it, he did not reject it, etc. Right? Right. So ولم ينكر عليهم رسول ولأن الأمل بالدليل الظاهر واجب عند عدم الدليل فوق. What is saying is, look here, normally you follow the strongest proof at your disposal category. But if the highest category of proof is not there, then you follow the next available proof. Right? I would try to follow, ne? Put up and try to follow. So what he's saying there is, look here, the highest proof is to know exactly where the Qibla is. Right? That's the highest proof. So when you know where the Qibla is exactly, you must follow it because that's the highest proof, right? But now when there's you got no proof what the highest, you got no proof or you got no information what is the exact Qibla, then you go for the next proof. And what the next proof is, your tahari, your own analytical deduction. You understand what I'm saying? Are you with me? You go for your next proof, which is your own analytical deduction. So in the absence of the stronger, you settle for the weaker. You understand what I'm saying? So same thing, the strongest proof is where you know for certain, somebody tells you, look, I live here, I know this is the Qibla. Or in a masjid, you know there's a Qibla. That's the strongest proof. So here you learn also another important principle in the Hanafi fiqh. In the absence of the stronger dalil, you settle for the weaker one. So they're saying, see, وَلِأَنَّ الْأَمَلَ بِالدَّلِيلِ الظَّاهِرِ وَاجِبٌ, to make action with the apparent proof is what is necessary. In the idami dalil fawqa, right? When there's the absence of the dalil stronger, that right? And we say, well, istighbaru fawqa tahari, asking somebody that knows, that is stronger than making you tahari. But here is nobody to ask, so you will settle for the tahari. Carry on. Read from the Luqman. لتيقنه. ونحن نقول ليس في حسنه إلا التوجه والتوجه ده أوكي إلا التوجه إلى جهة التحري. Right. The interesting Master, the scenario here is this here. If, for example, you came to the garage, whatever, I want to ask, you applied your mind, you said, okay, the sun sets here, sun rises here, etc., etc. So we're going to read Salah in this direction, and you read your Salah. You read your Salah. But after you read your Salah, somebody came past, he said, I'm from this area here, I know, but this is not the Qibla. Qibla is in the other direction. Qibla is in, you don't have to repeat it. Why you don't have to repeat it? Because that time, when you read your Salah to that direction, that was your Qibla. You didn't know what the Qibla was, and you made Tahari. So that becomes your Qibla. So for you at that point in time, that was the correct Qibla. So you done what was right for you to do at that point in time. You acted according to the information at your disposal. So فَإِنْ عَلِمَ أَنَّهُ أَخْطَأَ, if he learns أَنَّهُ أَخْطَأَ, that he made a mistake, بعدما صلى, after he read, right? لا يعيدها, he don't have to repeat it. وقال الشافعي رحمه الله تعالى, Imam Shafi said, no, if you read it to a certain direction, after you got certainty that it was wrong, you still have to repeat it. وقال الشافعي يعيدها. Why? إذا استدبر, when he showed his back to it. Why? لِتَيَقُّنِهِ بِالْخَطَأِ, because he was certain he was wrong. Yeah, right. وَنَحْنُ نَقُولُ, we say, look here, نَحْنُ نَقُولُ لَيْسَ فِي وَسِيلَةِ تَوَجُّهِ إِلَى جِهَةِ أَحَدٍ. That time when he read his salah, he only knew about this Qibla here. He didn't know about the other Qibla. So he done what was in his capacity. He done what was right. ونحن, now we say, ليس في عصي, that was not his capacity, إلا التوجه, except to face إلى جهة التحري, to his تحري, والتقليف, and you are only obligated, right? مقيد, it is restricted that which you are able. It is not required for you to do anything over and above which you are able to do, right? You carry on. قال وإذ علم ذلك في الصلاة استدار إلى القبلة وبنى على صلاته، وأن أهل القربى لما يتبعوا بتحول القبلة استداروا كهيئة بالصلاة، واحتسن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وكذا إذا تحول رأيه. Okay, let's stop there, inshallah. Time is up. We'll finish this tomorrow, inshallah, when we start a new chapter. Plus, سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. Let us accept, inshallah.